What's going on, everybody? You already know the vibes here, man. And in today's video, I am continuing my top 5 player series. And today we're talking about Advanced Warfare. Now, before I get into the video, I know you guys are probably wondering, I'm in a little bit different of a spot again. It's not the compound, it's not the 100 Thieves compound. And that's because I am currently in Texas. I am doing some filming out here, but I wanted to still get you videos from my channel. But there's going to be a little twist, guys, okay? Because I didn't want to be that guy, okay? If you guys don't know, Advanced Warfare might have been my best Call of Duty title in my career. Besides the Optic Dynasty, I won the most events in AW. I ran any role from main AR to flex to, aggressive sub. And I was pretty damn good. I had a lot of insane events, a lot of wins, really, really good consistency at just being a top level player. So we're going to throw a little honorable mention in. The 6th best player in AW, in my opinion, was yours truly. Like I said, I gassed myself up a little bit. When I normally do it, guys, I'm trolling. But I do think I was this 6th best player. I think I could have actually been top 5, but I'll take number 6 in my opinion. Moving on to number 5, the 5th best player in AW in my opinion, and I gotta go with my boy, none other than Tomas the Italian Stallion, aka Zuma. Tommy had a lot of hype around him because he obviously made a name for himself in Call of Duty Ghosts going into AW as this up-and-coming SND superstar, very talented, skillful player. But in the beginning of the year, things didn't really go his way, and I don't think it was necessarily his fault by any means. His team just weren't doing that well, which in fact made it harder for him to play well and for him to have success early on in the game. He really didn't start to take over and be that guy until we teamed together on FaZe, when we teamed with Slasher and Huke for 2 events, and then when we teamed with Attach and Clay to kind of end out the AW season. And that's where Tommy really just got into rhythm, and he turned into a different beast. As a main sub, guys, it's hard to post really good stats, and you guys know me, I'm not just a stats guy, okay? I do bring them up from time to time, but I'm more of the eye test and just really seeing what you're doing on the map and how it's impacting the game. And Tommy was the damn near best at it in AW, especially as a sub. He could take over whenever he wanted. We won 3 out of the 5 events I think we teamed for. Me, Tommy, Clay, and Dylan, and he just put up record numbers. It seemed like left and right. He was a different beast the second half of AW, and that's why I have him at 5. And I don't have him any higher up the list because Tommy's peak. Don't get me wrong, Tommy's peak, he could be top 2, top 3. He played at such a high level after COD champs. I think it's disgusting not to consider him top 5 in that game, especially with how good he was in his peak. Coming up at number 4, guys, I have another one of my teammates in AW. That's the boy Kyler, aka Huke. This is when he was a young gun, guys. This was his first ever Call of Duty that he competed in, and I tell you what, right out the gates, he looked promising, looked like he was a generational talent, someone that could have been very special. But he really didn't get the opportunity right away. He had to take his time, prove his worth. I've talked about Kyler on a couple different videos that I've put out. And just right from the get-go, I knew that he was going to be something special. Huke AW still, in my opinion, is one of the most insane players in Call of Duty history. And it's hard because I know, it might be a little bit more difficult to kind of find VODs from back then. But if you would just watch how he impacted the map and what he did, he would deadass do basically whatever he wanted. And for the most part, he was a submachine gun player. He did use a bow sometimes. He was kind of that flex player. But Kyler was just absolutely absurd. He had a 1.21 at Columbus, a 1.1 at UMG Orlando, 1.11 at playoffs, 1.18 UMG California, 1.12 at X Games. I teamed with Kyler for both of those events. We got second at both, unfortunately. UMG Dallas, he had a 1.24. DC, 1.21. Season 3 playoffs, 1.11. Like, he averaged a 1.16 in AW when using a submachine gun majority of the time, which is absurd. You know, those are scump-like numbers. Okay, that's not something easy to do while being at the damn near top of kills per respawn, and his S&D was fantastic as well. He averaged a 1.28 in S&D throughout the whole season, averaged over 32 kills per respawn throughout the whole season. So, you know, he was special. And like I said, I got the team with him for 2 events, and I would want to put him higher, but it's just impossible to, you know, because he didn't win any events in AW. He did come close. He got second a whole bunch. 2 of them were with me. And you know, as much as I thought he was unbelievable, the way I value players, you know, especially the eye test, when it came to mechanical skill, the kid was something special, but he was super young, and I think he was still learning how to, you know, play Call of Duty at the highest level while also complementing the team and being able to, you know, be consistent contenders. So moving on to number 3 now, and this might be a hot take. I know how you guys are, but I got the boy Formal, Matt Piper. Some of you guys might think he deserves to be higher on the list, but I just can't put him above the other 2 players. I mean, Formal was an absolute beast. Obviously, he continued his success from Ghost over to AW. That's really where Optic kind of took over. You know, they were the best team in AW for damn near the whole game. They had the most chips. I think they won like 9 events in AW. Might have been more. There were obviously more events back then, but Formal was basically just a complete beast. And honestly, when it came to main ARs, guys, for the most part, there wasn't really anyone that could compete with him consistently on his level. There was one player who I'm not going to name yet, but I mean, Formal stats were insane. You know, just to read off kind of his average for his overall season, my man averaged a 1.17 through every event, 32.5 kills per respawn. His S&D was, you know, average, you know, not average, it was good, you know, 1.06. But just like in Ghost, you know, he was a super impactful player, and, you know, he would take over damn near every game. You know, like for the most part, no one's main AR could really compete on his level. But I just think, you know, it's a mix between, his team was really the best AW team, right? Some people say FaZe, you know, but I got to give respect to them because they were a team throughout the whole game. You know, me, Tommy, Clay, and Dylan, we were only a team for like half the year. So even though we went 3 for 5 and, you know, we beat them in the finals, we just didn't have a big enough sample size like they did. But so they had the best team in AW, and their whole fucking team was disgusting. You know, obviously Formal was arguably, you know, at any given point, the best player on his team, the best player in the game. You know, he Mr. Consistent at the end of the day. I think that's why I have Formal at number 3. You just knew what you were going to get out of him. You know, you did. Like I said, it transferred over from Ghost. You knew you were going to get a good series out of him. It was rare that you didn't, and he was just going to keep it moving, and that was that. Coming in at number 2, guys, on my list, I have none other than the boy Jim, aka Clayster. I think this is well deserved. It was tough. I wanted to even potentially give him the number 1 spot, but I just couldn't, because I did think it was easier to run a main AR in Advanced Warfare than it was to run, you know, a Flex or a SMG. So that did hinder a little bit, but Clay was something special in AW, man. He really was. Besides the first event where Clay dropped a .96, he really just picked up fucking steam and had a absolutely crazy run. He had a 1.01 in Orlando. Then he went up to a 1.14 at Season 1 playoffs. US Regionals 1.33. COD Champs 1.31 at COD Champs. And they won that event. Clay was literally doing everything. No one was fucking with Clay at that event, especially as a main AR. ESWC is a 1.33. Gfinity is a 1.33. X Games is a 1.16. And then when we started teaming on FaZe, his stats went down a little bit, obviously because he had me and Tommy playing with him. But 1.15. In Dallas and Gfinity, he had a 1.21. In DC, 1.19. Season 3 playoffs, 1.07. For the whole year, he averaged a 1.18, 32.3 kills per respawn, a 1.12 in SND. But, dude, he did it all, man. He did. I teamed with him in that game. He obviously won champs, and had one of the best Call of Duty champs of all time when it came to individual performances. But he was a great leader. He knew exactly how to play AW to a T. At that time, I thought he was a fantastic teammate. And you could just always count on him. He just always fucking clutched up, which is huge, especially in AW, because back then there were so many events, right? And having someone who could consistently just make those clutch plays and continue along the tourney was very important. But so I only think it's fair that I give Clay the number 2 spot. He did win COD champs. He fucking Attach had a good event in COD champs, but he damn near had the whole team on his back. He had a handful of wins in AEW. His peak, I think he was the best AR player in AEW. Formal was definitely more consistent, but Clay had a higher peak in that game, in my opinion. So I guess at the end of the day, that just comes down to what you look at, in a player and how you value them. But for me, I have to give Clay the number 2 spot over Formal. I do think Clay was the best assault rifle player in AW. I mean, it was close. It was like Clay's 1A, Formal's 1B. Like you could go. There's arguments for both ways. You know what I'm saying? But with that said, guys, moving on to the best Advanced Warfare player in AW, in my opinion. And finally, this probably won't be a hot take because you guys will all agree with me. It's none other than boy Lil Man. It is well deserved that he gets the number 1 spot because Seth was an absolute glitch in AW. Just to get straight to the point, be blunt. His level of play and his consistency was unrivaled in AW. I really do think so. There were a lot of other submachine gun players who had phases where maybe their peaks might have been a little bit higher, potentially, or they were kind of at his level, but it was only a phase. Seth consistently throughout the whole year. And there was a lot of events, guys, in AW, like 14, 15 events. He was just phenomenal. I'll break down some of his stats just like I did with everyone else. I'm gonna read his. Listen to his stats. Okay, this is from the beginning to the end. At MLG Columbus, he had a 1.14. UMG Orlando 1.22. Season 1 playoffs 1.29. US Regionals 1.31. COD Champs 1.3. ESWC 1.17, Gfinity 1.23, UMG California 1.28, X Games 1.2, Dallas 1.17, Gfinity 1.19, DC 1.21, Season 3 playoffs 1.16. All while averaging over 30 kills per respawn every single event. He averaged 33.23 kills per respawn throughout the whole year. His SND was fucking phenomenal, 1.26 KD throughout the whole year. Like, he just did it all. He did it all. And it's nothing against Crim, Formal, Nade for a little bit, Karma, because they were all good in AW, but like Seth just did it all himself. He just didn't need any help. And believe me, I teamed with him for 2 events when I filled in. I played against them. I competed against him damn near every fucking event, it felt like. And he was Houdini, dude. He was something special, I'll be honest with you. So I think it's well deserved that he comes in at number 1 spot. But that's my top 5. AW players, guys, with me coming in at number 6. You know, I'm not going to be that guy and put myself in there. But, you know, look the kid up. You know, back in my day, you know, I was okay. You know, I was solid. So thank you for all the love, guys. Like I said, I am not in the compound. The next couple videos will probably not be in the compound, but I'm just doing the best I can with traveling and still trying to put out videos for you guys, for everyone who's been showing love and you know, who wants to see more. So I appreciate everything, but the kid is out. I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all. Until then, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please, we're so close to 20,000 subs on YouTube. I would love to hit it before I go back to LA. But until next time, guys, have a good one. The kid is out.